Good afternoon, everyone. It is not Tuesday, it is Saturday, but it is the Tuesday Night Delight. Shad Talks Graps. We are here for the Wrestling Republic daily broadcast. Man, last night we had a pretty eventful episode of SmackDown, the last SmackDown on Fox Network, as we are moving to USA. And man, we got a lot to talk about. More importantly, the Philadelphia Eagles won yesterday. So I didn't watch SmackDown live last night. Had to watch us beat down the Packers in Brazil. And it feels good. And not only being the only Eagles fan here, I got my buddy, my former Throwback Thursday 1/3 member, Anthony. How you doing, bro?
Doing all right, like you said. The Eagles won. The Phillies won 16-2 last night. So as I'm looking forward to them possibly going into October, and SmackDown happened, which I watched this morning, and should be fun to cover.
Yeah, definitely a lot happened last night, and I'm definitely excited to talk about the first topic. But last but not least, you see her talk about SmackDown a lot every Saturday. She gets to do 3 shows with me this weekend, and I know she is so happy because I'm very happy about it. Megan, we dreamed of it and we made it
Yes,
happen.
we
How you
did.
doing, sis?
I'm doing well. Happy Saturday. Happy All Out Day. Um, I feel kind of left out because I'm not a real Eagles fan. So go Giants.
Oh, not the Giants. Saquon Barkley did good though. I know that must have made y'all feel a little
Okay.
happy. But this is an NFL show. We'll end it here. This is about SmackDown, and this is the first topic we have at hand because this is the topic that everyone online on Elon Musk's former app called Twitter is going crazy about.
Yes.
Giovanni Vinci made his debut. As y'all know, he was a former member of Imperium. They kicked him out the whip. They repackaged him back to what he kind of a little bit was in NXT, and he moved to the SmackDown brand. Whew. He had a match, very less of a match, I would say. Uh, he was styling, profiling, taunting a little bit, and he lost to Apollo Crews in was it 4 or 5 seconds? A
Yeah.
pretty short match. He definitely is giving Aaliyah a run for her money with her victory over Natty, if y'all remember that. But I guess the question is that a lot of people online are saying, what are they doing with Giovanni Vinci? They buried him. Is he dead in the water before even getting a chance to swim? I'm gonna just say this first before I kick it off to y'all. I think, as IWC always does, we are a little too quick to judge, and we are not seeing bigger pictures in situations. I compare a lot of stuff to sports. Not everybody can be the lead scorer. Not everybody could be the star wide receiver catching all the touchdowns. He's playing a role, and it goes within his character. He is a flashy guy that is taunting and doing all of that, and it came underneath. Like he lost in a roll up pin. Now, was it the best thing? Maybe not. But does it make sense in story? Yeah. And me personally, I'm one that is always willing to let the story play out. My only gripe was, why did we not give him his old NXT entrance with all the camera cuts, where it flashed and where it says Vinny, Vici? That was my only issue. But that's all jokes aside. Uh, I'm gonna open up the panel, and I'm gonna kick it off to you first, Anthony. What are your thoughts in regards to Giovanni Vinci's debut, and do you see an issue with how his lack of a match happened last night?
It's weird because you look at it in a situation where typically if they're bringing somebody back, they're repackaging them. Everyone expects them to win, and especially against somebody like Apollo, which as a whole, they have not exactly booked Apollo as this dominant force or this. A lot of times he jobs out. So to me, it was more shock value. The people are going, oh, they're punishing him. Oh, this is something Vince would do. Whatever. WWE is a business. They are not going to spend money and do valuable TV time by doing promo packages, hyping up this guy's return to have him job out in 3 seconds, 5 seconds, whatever it was, for it not to go somewhere else. I think it's a little too quick to make that judgment. Because if they would have brought him in and just had him beat Apollo quickly, people would have went, oh, they're burying Apollo. This isn't right. Let it play out. Let's see where it goes. You got to take him away from Imperium. That's what you did. You've repackaged him how you repackaged him before in NXT. I'm curious to see where it goes. It's an angle. It's a one-off as of right now. If this goes on for weeks and you do like the losing streak like they did with Brian Myers years ago or Kurt Hawkins at the time, yeah, I could see you complaining. But let's see where it goes, because if he gets in a rivalry with Apollo, it could essentially rebuild two guys' careers that people have complained, Apollo doesn't get used, Apollo's not getting used right, all this stuff. Let's see where it goes.
I agree with you on that, and I think you made a good point in regards to like allowing us to have just storylines on the show with other people, because like even last night, it's not on the topics, but Chelsea Green and Mi Chin, right?
Yeah,
we got 2 women's matches last night, and we got a storyline within Chelsea Green and Piper, kind of pipeline and being the bullies throughout the entire women's locker room, and messing with Mi Chin and having that type of match. Like, I think it is important, and I do agree. I think we do. It's always a complaint, obviously, with TV time and having people being able to get on television, and it's a little bit more difficult on SmackDown than it is on Raw because there's less time to give. So yeah, like any second, any minute that you're given time to be on television is beneficial. Like you hear stories of like wrestlers from back when we were all young, right, growing up. They're like, I'm biting my teeth to get a chance to even get a backstage vignette or whatever it may be.
There's this negative connotation in wrestling where they're like, oh, they're bringing them in to bury them. Every talent that they have on that roster is an investment for them. They want them to be successful because it makes the company successful and generates money. They are not putting somebody out there to fail. That's never the intention.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. We got some comments, so let's get a couple comments in before we pass it on to someone who's got fans in the comments. We got the homie NDB899 saying, Megan, this is a very funny comment. More like Gucci Giovanni Vinci. He had a lot of, probably fake Gucci. I don't know if it's fake or not, but
wow.
he had a
not the fake Gucci.
Yo, I had an idea on the off the air also, that in regards to Vinci, and it would be a very creative way of bringing the family. I would like to see Giovanni Vinci and Tony D'Angelo kind of joining within a faction too. That'd be interesting, just because the characters are so different. But Gucci Giovanni Vinci is funny. He also says the IWC is always talking about somebody's buried before they get the shovels out. Very true. That is so true. I think we cry wolf in situations a lot online, and it's definitely a little tiresome at times. We got Bob Battito saying Giovanni Vinci should have his NXT theme music back, and I think could potentially build him up as a contender for the WWE United States Championship in the future. Yeah, I think that's his role. I think he is a solid mid-card guy that we'll have to see. But like I said, he's a heel. These are like the type of heel characters that are good in a sense, and I think he's gonna probably beat Apollo throughout the storyline of them having a feud. We'll have to wait and see, but it got us talking. This is an everyone topic on today's show, right? This is something pretty big.
I thought it was pretty funny. It
was
pretty funny. Because I was just like, I was on my phone and I was talking about it, and then I look up and he had lost the match. So, maybe there's a comic relief to it. I don't know. Like his character kind of reminds me of the whole Aura Menza and Ethan Page, or maybe even trying to figure out who else that whole little scenario reminds me of. But you know, I just thought it was funny. It was funny to me. So, but that's just what the fans do. The fans always find something to complain about. It just makes their day. It makes them feel like they're a part of the storyline.
Right.
So, what can you do?
Yeah, and I do agree on that. I mean, do you think within that, like, would you have booked it differently, Megan, per se, like his debut, or would you? Are
Um,
you cool with how it was yesterday?
no, because it's just like you said, it got the people talking. Like maybe if his debut, think of it this way: if he had won his match against Apollo Creed, it probably would have, oh great, he won a match, and then people would have forgotten. So when you think of a debut, like you said, you're used to someone debuting, winning. You're not looking for the person who's debuting to lose in 4 seconds. You're not looking for that. So if their motive was to get you to talk about him, that is what they did. So honestly, I think it was genius booking. It got people talking about him. Um, they're going to be invested in seeing what they do with him come next week during the debut of SmackDown on USA. So, I don't think people would have normally have been invested any other time, any other way, because of the way he left Imperial. So I think it was a pretty ingenious booking. It got people talking, you know?
I agree, honestly, because if this would have played out like they normally do, where they're
Right.
debuting somebody and winning, I don't think anybody would really care. I don't,
Right.
or they wouldn't be talking about it as much. This
Exactly.
character, they did these little things where he didn't have the jacket off and the ref started the match, which
Right.
never happens. So those little things, they could make him like a male Chelsea character where he's arguing with the GM, that he's getting robbed and this and that. They could bring in like they could do a number of things with this
Yeah,
that I think you can kind of have fun with. Like I
Yeah.
said, it's too soon to go. Oh, that's it. They just ruined them. Like,
Right.
calm down.
I think Chelsea Green is like a great example in
Hmm.
regards to someone that is just going to take any opportunity and flourish. Like you want to see her because you want to see her act silly and lose, or you want to see her win in heel tactics like she even did last night. Like
Last
it's
night.
one of
Right.
those. Yeah, like here's the thing, right? So my man's MDB got a comment saying that Apollo Crews has been getting a lot of shine on TV lately. That's what's lost on everyone here. That's true. He has been on TV a lot. He's been in the
Hmm.
tag team with Baron Corbin. The issue is everybody wants everyone to be the person. You
Right.
know,
Not
you
a fan base.
yeah. There's like I said, there's roles. Not everybody can be a star, right? You can.
Hmm.
There's other ways. Things come in ebbs and flows. There's rotations in at the end of the day. People get an opportunity to be the guy, the girl. Some people get to be the person that makes the guy, the girl look good. That's the beauty of, and it's been like that from the existence of professional
Well,
wrestling.
you look at
Mm-hmm.
it. Chelsea's given interviews, and she said, "Listen, people looking at wins laws records, I don't care. I want
Yeah,
the fans to remember my moment, my segment. Win or lose, they got to remember me." That's the mentality you need to have. It's not necessarily the wins and losses. It's being remembered in this business and making money in this business. And
Right.
those that get it usually are the ones that succeed.
and this is the same exact argument I had on Monday, on Tuesday when we did the Raw review show. Because I know a lot of debate has been on the Judgment Day, and
Hmm.
more so Finn and JD
Yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
them taking the loss. And people are saying they're being misused. No, they are not being misused. They are focal points in one of the biggest storylines in WWE at the moment, and
Right.
they were on the main event of Raw, and they are one of the they're champions. Like they're in all the pay-per-views that they need to be in. I don't think those guys would be in any other situation. I don't think Finn Balor would have re-signed a contract
Mhm.
if he was feeling like he was being misused.
Yeah,
So
I always find it fascinating when people go, "Oh, they're misused and mistreated." Last time I checked, they're getting paid exceptionally well, whether they get used or not. So I
Right.
got to be honest. Like, there's that factor in there. Going, there are people that actually do get misused and mistreated and don't get the kind of money and
It's
exposure that
true.
they get.
And when you
Yeah.
think of the Judgment Day has been around for about 2 years now, and they pretty much
Hmm.
dominated
Hmm.
Raw. So even as they have shifted people, they didn't added Carlito in it, they didn't took out Rhea and Damian Priest.
Hmm.
Judgment Day is still alive. They're still relevant. Even long after Edge then left. You know,
Arguably
Adam.
more successful.
You know,
Arguably
Way better past
more
Edge.
successful. And
since
that
he
was the
left.
doubt too when they kicked Edge out. They're like,
Absolutely.
"Oh, that's it. The group's not going to again stop panic mode. Let things play out.
Hmm.
Sometimes it works out. Sometimes it doesn't. This
Yeah,
time it worked out."
It sure
exactly.
did.
Yeah, somebody in the Instagram said he had that Flucci on. That is funny. All
See.
right, yeah, no, but no, that it definitely I'm glad that y'all have similar thoughts as me on that because I was thinking, maybe I'm just being a little too optimistic, but
No.
what I'm not optimistic is seeing one of my favorites take losses.
Oh, here we go.
Bailey versus Tiffany Stratton. It was a very good match. I thought it was a fun match. We are playing a lot into the whole Tiffany being Miss Money in the Bank with Nia Jax. Obviously, fake out cash. She could have possibly cashed in last week. Who knows? But there's that little feeling between both of them as counterparts, but also she wants the title and she has the opportunity to take the title. But her and Bailey had a match. Nia comes in and Nia kind of you know accidentally helps Bailey get the win. Bailey is able to get a victory over Tiffany Stratton. We're continuing what's going on there. I'm gonna open the floor to you, Megan. What are your thoughts? Just I guess in regards to the match, but everything that is in this dynamic between Bailey coming back, but also Tiffany and Nia.
Ugh. Well, I think all the voices that Naya is hearing is starting to like really sink in with Chelsea and Piper and Bailey, and then she's just watching Tiffany and the moves that Tiffany is making and stuff. I think in that situation, it really is keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer. Like I don't think Naya trusts Tiffany as far as she could throw her, but she's going to keep her around because I guess she feels that if she continues to put a level of threat behind her words, maybe she could keep Tiffany at bay, at least for the moment. But I watched the match. I thought the match was good. Honestly, I was a little bit more entertained by Chelsea and Mia Yim or Michin. Um, but um, overall, I like watching Tiffany. I like watching Tiffany in the ring. I have so much respect for Bailey. So their match was overall as entertaining as it could be. But I'm I feel like they dangle Bailey around because she was the most recent champion. But overall, when I think of the story, I think of Naya and Tiffany because Naya is the champion and Tiffany is the one person that is in between her, whether she keeps the title or whether she loses the title. And so, I think that's really the focal point is between them two. So, I mean, I watched the match, but I wasn't like really invested in it all too much. But as always, they give a good match. They're talented wrestlers, but I'm more focused on what's going to happen between Naya and Tiffany. I think that's the bread and butter right there. Is Tiffany going to eventually cash in the briefcase? Is she psyching us? Is she looking at possibly taking the titles from somebody else? Honestly, it just wouldn't make sense for her to. I think Roxanne's hands is kind of full right now, and Liv have an angry Australian woman after her. It wouldn't be wise for Tiffany to get involved in that. So, if she does want a title, it seemed like her best bet is to catch Nia slipping. Honestly,
Nah, and here's this might be kind of a bit of a hot take. If Now it's not going to happen because the storyline between them two is so prevalent, and I think the end game is her cashing on Nia. But I would even have Tiffany hold it longer, like for an extensive. I don't know if Tiffany is ready for a dominant reign yet. I think she's immensely talented. I think she's a great athlete, great wrestler, great character, but I don't know what her reign is just yet. How quick we get to it, I don't know how long lasting. It really depends how they position and how they book it. But the thing is, they got some women on that roster that are people that can be a threat, and I don't know if it holds a lot of believability that they're gonna lose to her. Right? You talk about a Bianca, you talk about a Jade, you talk about a Charlotte Flair potentially coming back. Do you really can you really sell yourself that Tiffany is going to be able to beat them? It's a little difficult, right? Obviously she's a heel and it makes a difference. So I feel like she can grow into the role, and especially having the briefcase because the character work is there. But I think we are going to get her cashing on Nia. So I'm interested, a little worried, but I guess we'll have to kind of wait and see what
well,
happens.
oh, I see, Anthony. I just
No,
have
go
a quick question. So,
Yeah.
why would you think they would have chosen Tiffany winning Money in the Bank over Chelsea?
I don't know. I think Chelsea would have been a great choice to have it because I think Chelsea gives
That's
you
what
the
I was rooting for.
because I think Chelsea gives you the element of having a failed cash in and it being okay in storyline too, just because she's that type of character, right? Like Tiff. The thing is this with Chelsea, she is. This has become a Chelsea Green show. She's Teflon, right? Her character is Teflon. She can go either direction, and you're like, okay, I understand it. Tiffany
Right.
failed cash in. That's detrimental to her. So,
I
go
think
ahead,
it's
Anthony.
I think it's a fun dynamic because we know Tiffy, the character, would definitely cash in on Nia. And Nia is aware of this. And they're
Hmm.
playing this up where like she's almost cashing in and then Nia's giving her the dirty look going, oh, I didn't mean to do that. I would drag this out for a while, and then if it's possible, when she does do the turn, maybe she gets her own heavy, maybe her own Diesel to her Shawn Michaels, the type that could match up with Nia. That would, when she does it, it gives her cover and protection. I don't
Yeah,
know if there's somebody out there, but if there is,
there's a
I
lot
think
of
you
big,
could,
strong girls in NXT you could probably find, right?
or possibly, what was her name? And I can't remember. And I feel horrible. I cannot remember her name. She was Tasha Steele's big heavy in
Savannah
TNA.
Evans.
Yeah, like somebody like that could probably work with Tiffany.
Oh, so like was what they're doing with Mercedes and Camille.
Yes.
Essentially, but like a real heavy, not the fake one that they got going on. I mean, a little like Piper and Chelsea, but
So we say
Yeah.
that.
yeah, something like that along those lines.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh
But I
man.
mean, like, what if they pull what they did with Giovanni yesterday with a Tiffany? Like everybody is hopeful that Tiffany will cash in and be successful, and Nia just squash her. She's like, like everybody is hyping Tiffany up to
He,
cash in, and Nia just pulls that last lever
here's
and just proves to be the dominant woman after all.
here's a legit question for you guys, and I'm not trying to drag this out further. But what if Nia turns on Tiffany before Tiffany gets the turn? Could Tiffany pull off a face run out of this and get bigger because of it?
I feel like it is alluding to that a little bit because she's kind of being a little on the defense about situations
Mm-hmm.
and being a little bit rude to it. It's like kind of the because I remember when Nia was was the heavy for Alexa Bliss, right?
Yes.
And then she was the baby face. I feel like it could kind of be a reverse way because
Mm-hmm.
look, Tiffany is. I think she could pull off a babyface run too. The fans love her. She
Yeah.
gets a lot of reaction and whatnot. So, and she's got, of course, everyone in the comments keeps talking about pretty deadly.
That's what I was gonna
I
say.
love
Like,
that
aren't
combination.
they
Yes.
like, yeah, their faces, right? They're not heels.
No, well, no. Well, they're with them, so technically they're heels. But like, I think it could work with Tiffany if you go heel route.
Yeah.
But
This
either
is
way, I think it
funny.
could work.
Yeah, nah, it's definitely it's exciting, and it is I am enjoying the storyline with it. That we will get to the next topic, but
Yep.
first we must talk about our good sponsors, and that is our good friends at Next Level. If you want to find a one-stop shop, everything related to Wrestling Republic, Next Level got you. You go to the link nxconnect.me/Wrestling Republic. You can find all of our content on the platform, on the website. They also have a very user-friendly application where you can check our content as well as other wrestling content creators as well. It's a great community within there. And also, the most important thing, they like to give away free stuff, always having contests and whatnot, competition against other wrestling fans if you look at it like that. But yeah, man, go ahead and support them, support us, and let's get back to the topic at hand because I feel like these guys just are always going against each other. We had Kevin Owens versus A-Town Down Under in a triple threat match. KO kind of playing a little bit of psych games, getting them to agree in a triple threat match, and he gets a win. And we're teasing to the breakup of A-Town Down Under. It is a bit of a slow burn. I don't know if it's a little too slow of a burn, but we're alluding to it, and I think at this point it's a little needed. I think both of those guys have kind of, tarnished any bit of the tag team legitimacy. But I want to know what you got to say about it, Anthony. What are your thoughts on the match, and just, I guess more so, A-Town Down Under?
Yeah.
What's the direction for them?
I mean, that's the funny part with this group. It seemed like it was a never-ending will they or won't they break up thing. And it made you question whether or not WWE knew what they wanted to do here. They play a valuable role as to, I don't know what the best way to put this is, but, easy job guys that can kind of get off the goofiness and kind of make stuff work. And it's very few and far between that you have that you can kind of put them in. I've said before, Austin Theory, to me, I thought he was somebody that had tremendous talent when I saw him back in the day in Evolve, but his WWE run he hasn't really materialized. And they've repackaged him. They sent him to NXT multiple times. At this point, I think the only option left is repackaging him as a face and see if he can get over with that. Because if he can't, I don't know if he's salvageable at this point because the brand has been damaged so much. Waller, I think, is somebody that you can continue to use and do well. I think he continues to get better at what he's doing. KO plays off of them phenomenally well. The match was to, I guess, plant the seeds for this turn because they did a triple threat as opposed to a handicap match and showed more animosity. I know some people complained about how Austin Theory took the stunner from KO. Listen, I'm completely fine with it. It wasn't as over dramatic as like The Rock taking Austin Stunner. Now, to me, like I didn't like that like 17 when he flipped all over the place. I hate it when he did that. The Theory one I thought was more realistic in the sense that if he went and bounced back, and he's done it before. He did it with Austin when he was in the ring. So it's not like it's the first time Theory has done it. But I am curious to see where it goes. I'm curious to see what happens with KO. Obviously, he's publicly talked about his contract running out within the next several months. So it'll be interesting to see whether or not he resigns. Hopefully so. And to see where this stuff goes and what they do with KO and going forward, and the eventual Theory Waller feud that's probably going to materialize. Probably, as SmackDown moves to USA, it'll be probably one of those heated feuds that they maybe start there.
Yeah, I'm intrigued to see what happens with Kevin Owens too, because I was excited to see him potentially go back to the prize fighter and be a heel. and continuing the storyline with Cody.
Yep.
But it seems like it's a bit of a, I don't know. I won't say like a roadblock, maybe a little pause in the road in
Mhm.
regards to what happens. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I think Austin Theory. A lot of people in the comments are big Austin Theory fans. Our boy
Mm.
MD. He said, "What? Former U.S. champion, tag team champ Austin Theory. He is money, money, money,
Uh,
money. That's that's uh
Yeah, he
that's a big
is.
compliment. It's a big compliment.
He is. I think.
He's good.
Yeah, I mean, I
mhm.
think if they continue to milk this potential feud between him and Grayson, and they allow Grayson to put Theory in these positions to where, either he's getting hurt or he's getting attacked, or, things like what he said, like the issue with Kevin last week. Was that last week or the week before? Um, I think the fans are starting to sway. Like there is maybe not as clear as Otis and Chad, but the fans will start to see that Austin Theory is being misused, he's being abused by his friend. And ultimately, when they do that turn, I think that there's a potential where the fans could possibly be on Austin Theory's side because at the end of the day, no one wants to see someone being abused. And even if it's not as clear, like I said, as Otis and Chad, you can see that Grayson is taking advantage of Austin, and you can see like Austin, he's like putting these pieces together, but at the same time, it's like, but he's my friend, he's been there with me, we were tag team champions. So I think ultimately when Theory do snap, because that is going to happen, I think it's going to be a pop. I think the fans are going to go for it, and I think it might be just that much easier for him to possibly be a heel. So, just following up on what you said, Anthony, I think that is probably the only way that they can make him a face, and
Mhm.
they have to play on the audience, the fans' emotions, and
Yep.
just so this story has to continue to play out for that to happen. Because we're emotional people. We like emotion. We like stories, and there's a story budding there. But they have to continue to use our emotions against us, and that's the only way he'll be able to be a successful face.
Yeah. Oh man, I just read something on Instagram. Somebody said Jalen Hurts is the Jack Swagger of NFL quarterbacks. That is very disrespectful, friend. Michael Made Mag, don't make me shadow ban you. I got these
Blah.
type of, yeah. I know how to shadow ban people on Instagram. Nah, jokes aside, man, it's gonna be interesting to see. All right, let's get to the last topic at hand,
Mhm.
and we have a big time match next week on the debut of SmackDown on the USA Network, a rematch
Mhm.
between Cody Rhodes and Mr. Solo Sikoa in a cage. They had a very good interaction on the start of the show, in my opinion. Cody bigging up who I think is the star of the Bloodline, my twin Jacob Fatu, and Solo not liking that at all. And I like that we're playing off of that a lot, just because Jacob Fatu is a absolute beast. We ain't even put on the topics, but the multi-man match at the main event shined, looked great against the Street Profits at the ending segment with the Dawkins. But we are gonna get a rematch between Cody and Solo, and I am personally happy because I didn't want to see this at Bad Blood. I don't think the rematch was needed for Bad Blood. I think we could create a bigger, better match for Bad Blood, and that is to be seen what it's gonna be. We don't know where the tribal chief is at this, but in regards to that's a little far out the way. Cody Solo, I want to know y'all's thoughts on that. Megan, I'm gonna kick it off to you first.
Um, well, last night I just saw a repeat of when they was feeding these ideas of tribal chiefism to Solo when Roman was around. So I see that they're Cody Cody is a manipulator. That's why I like him because he has a way of getting into people's heads. If he has to cry on cue, he will cry on cue. If he has to play possum, he will play possum like during his match with Kevin Owens. Like Cody is a well-rounded manipulator and he can see something in Jacob that probably Solo sees in him the same way Roman saw in him. And so last night I saw Solo trying to keep him at bay. And it seemed like for the most part at this current time he has that ability to. I don't know if he's going to be able to control Jacob for too much because Jacob is he's rabid. Like he's wild. He can't be controlled. And I think Solo, I don't know how much more control Solo is going to have over on him, but to be honest, I really want to know what they're doing with Cody. I want to know what it is that they are doing with him and his storylines. I'm not I guess it's because it's not really predictable. So that's why it's kind of like frustrating for me. But I'm glad that, like you, that the match is not happening at Bad Blood. I still think it's possible for Cody to go up against somebody else. I still think it's going to be Roman and Solo. That's what I'm still feeling. That I don't know, the front, the colors, the pattern on the front, it kind of tells me it's going to be like a bloodline theme type pay-per-view. So I'm kind of leaning into Roman being involved in one way, shape, or form. But mm, I'm thinking about this cage match, and I don't think Cody is going to lose, but I want to know exactly how he's going to win. Is there going to be an interference? Is somebody going to drop the ball? Just how Cody is going to win. I don't know if it's necessarily going to be a clean win.
Yeah,
So I don't know. It's just not really predictable for me. So I'm kind of stumped,
for
real
sure.
stumped when it comes down to
Nah, and that's a good thing. Not being
it.
predictable
That
is
is.
always
It
is
is.
a, always a good thing. Um, I'm gonna kick it off to you, Anthony, and then
Mhm,
we're gonna end up the show with a couple comments. But what are your
mhm.
thoughts in regards to this match that we got next week?
I gotta be honest, Solo Sokoa is I've not been a huge fan of. I have enjoyed the Suge Knight Sokoa phase that he's doing now as the fake tribal chief. Um, but I don't understand, I would say this if it was AEW because people say I say stuff about that. I will say this about WWE. I don't understand why Solo's getting a title shot. He has one of the worst win-loss records. Based on this logic, within the next 2 months, Giovanni Vinci, if he continues to lose, he'll be challenging for the title at the December show, whatever the hell that is. But at this point, I really think with Cody at this point, they're just biding time. I think this is leaning towards the eventual Rock showdown. I assume that's the direction they're going to go for Mania. So, and right now they're just throwing speed bumps in there because Rock's not available. They can't do anything now. So while they're able to do it, they're pushing the bloodline, and Cody's always been involved with it. So they're kind of just combining them until everyone's supposed to go where they're supposed to go. Um, I think Roman comes back next week. I think, it's the first SmackDown that's on USA. They're going to go big. So Roman getting involved at some point with Bad Blood. Rock's going to come back at some point, and and be the invisible hand and announce that he was the one behind the whole bloodline thing. I think that's where that's going. Jacob is 100% a once in a generation talent. That guy's a future world champion. If this match was Cody against Jacob Fatu for the title, I tell you right now, put the belt on Jacob Fatu and let him run with it. I love Cody, but Jacob Fatu is a guy that you can kind of run with. And Cody's won the title. He finished the story. He doesn't really need a long reign. Like, he's done it. He's already an established guy. But it's going to be very interesting over the next couple of months as the bloodline eventually leads into bloodline versus bloodline, and Cody goes off in his direction, and everybody kind of goes into WrestleMania mode. So it should be fun.
Look, man, I know when Ben is going to clip something, and I know he is going to clip what you just said in regards to him beating Cody. I can't disagree with that at all.
I'm honest. I give my honest takes on these things. People may not like it, but it is what it is.
I can't disagree with that at all, and it's maybe a lot of it is because I've been a fan of Jacob Fatu for a while now, and I'm glad he's in the WWE. He's one of those guys that, like you said, is so talented. He needed to be on a platform like WWE so people can see him. Man, MDB, you were funny, bro. He said Solo Shikoa because he said his Suge Knight things.
Okay. Can I be honest, Shad? This is the one I enjoy.
If you see Jacob Fatu in the woods with a bear, help the bear. Oh, man, that is funny. But we're going to end off on this because he said, Shad, do the prayer hands real quick. I love you, my tribal chief. I love you, my tribal chief, Solo Sikoa. I'm pretty much the same guy as him, man. We the same guy.
You really should do a full show as Jacob Fatu one of these days.
I need to, man. He got a lot more hair than me, unfortunately. So that's the only minor problem. But man, that was a fun show, man. I really appreciate all of y'all in the comments showing love. Remember, we are back same time tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be a very fun show because we are going to be reviewing what happens tonight, AEW All Out. Man, there's going to be a crazy show for that. Hangman and Swerve. Who knows what's going to happen. It may be someone burning in a cage, but that's all the time we got. Thank you to Anthony. Thank you to Megan. And yeah, man, we'll catch y'all tomorrow, same time. Peace. Deuces. Ooses.